Every Saturday morning, I would wake up and it would be an exciting day for me because I knew I had to push live a YouTube video. I used to make these Brawl Stars videos. If you don't know what that is, it's a video game, mobile video game, actually. And I would spend hours on end to cram in recording gameplay, editing like those over edited meme style videos and then publishing it live at 7 p.m. And I think the greatest part of doing that when I was younger, this is probably about 6 years ago, give or take, and it was just the community that I had built, and it was so rewarding to get these, comments coming in. Nowadays, I have just graduated, finished my degree. I live in Australia, and I've immediately scored a gig in a full time job. And I really just wanted to ramble on about this idea of corporate life. And as a young adult, corporate life is weird. It's strange, and it's an entirely new game to play. I've been in the education system, since I was a child. It's been, we went through primary school, high school, university, and now I'm here in this big world of sort of it's just really money hungry. And I know it's kind of cringe to say, oh, capitalism and all that, but you know, I feel like I feel like I'm facing the real world now, and it is entirely different. The biggest things is obviously the environmental change, who you work with. Growing up, you're around people your own age, and now I'm sort of facing everyone, different ages, different generations, so I have to sort of adapt to that as well. I'm a bit socially awkward as well. I would consider myself an introvert, but I feel comfortable around the people that I find myself surrounded in terms of friends, right? I mean, but that's natural in an entirely different environment. You have to play by the rulebook of the lingo people talk, of the goals of revenue, and sort of, small talk of like walking by. Do I smile at this person walking by? I mean, I know them. I don't know their name. They sort of sit a great distance away from me, but I see them every day. It's just this weird, strange awkwardness that at least I feel. And as existential as it is, yeah, it's like, is this the rest of my life? Now, I know many people might think, or people in the same position as me, maybe people older listening, or maybe people younger, it's not the end all be all. I know that. I know plenty of people make career changes in their whole life, and you move and you shift about. And I think for me at the moment, it's about setting new goals and figuring out where I want to go. And the reason why I'm creating this episode for the internet to share and for this channel to be uploaded onto, it's more of a digital journal that I would like to keep updating, maybe every week, maybe twice, 3 times a week, just when I feel like I have a valid rant to go about. And maybe some people will connect with it. I really just want to go back to my roots of content creation in a way that is like, I just love creating and I need some sort of outlet for it. Now, getting back onto this corporate talk, the big five or the big four maybe is like, okay, the costume of every day, dressing up, going in office clothes. I feel like my office is a little more casual, but I do like dressing up just to sort of separate my office life persona from my own individual life. I like sort of, wearing a button up shirt, a nice sort of pants to go with it, belts, all of that. And I think that's fine. But then again, as I was saying, the lingo, whatever, people, you have to play the game of business. And that's all money talk and understanding that myself as a junior, as much as I think I have impact, there is this strong sense of youthful naivety that I face. And sometimes I've been frustrated in my position. I've only been working for about 6 months now. And really, I have to understand that, you've gone from university or college, some might say, as, the big fish in the small pond, as people would say every time you progress throughout high school. Now I really am the small fish in a big, big business, and I really don't know the game I'm playing. So, sort of learning that, challenging the norm, I think is important to learn as well. I think I need to sort of tamper back my expectations and say, look, I don't know everything, and I shouldn't treat myself like I should have the expectation that I do know everything. Again, it's this whole game of learning. Then there is this concept of hierarchy again, going, further up. I've made mistakes of signing up for things that I shouldn't have. And then, oh, it's a time kill. You're losing productivity on that. It's like, I make a mistake, but I'm also hungry to learn. The next point is this idea of corporate being a bit of a time thief. Now, ever since the pandemic, I know many people work from home, and they have such a privilege to work from home. I get to work home once a week, every week. It's great. I lose a bit of focus at home, though. I'm gonna be honest. Having everything there at home, you save money on transport and food, and going out in the office days, your 9 to 5 realistically turns into, an 8 to 6. You have to wake up, leave, transport takes an hour there, hour back, sometimes an hour and a half for me. And I'm sure many more people have to travel even further than I have to for work. And so it's understanding and getting into this routine again of, you need to schedule time for unprecedented considerations, right? Transport is what I'm essentially trying to say. Now, moving on, I'm not gonna lie, those were my biggest talking points for this video, but I want to sort of ramble back onto this idea of why I have created this YouTube channel. And that's to share my thoughts, share my corporate journey with people, share just a weekly journal of my entries, and to build a community where it's okay to talk about things, to cheer people up, sympathize. I think that's what the goal is. And, I'm not going to care about the views or just sort of the topics or the games. I haven't even decided what the background might be to this video. It might be Terraria, Minecraft. It might even just be random games that I play. But it's just that yearning for content creation again, because I quit when I had about 5,000 subscribers. I was getting, 150,000 views on some videos in the span of like a week. And it was just phenomenal, but I burnt out. And that's the biggest fear, I think, in corporate, in school, education, in any part of my life. I've felt like burnout is the biggest leading cause of stagnation, because it gets to the point where I just feel like I can't anymore. And what do you do from there? You gotta build up your habits. I mean, I've been reading a lot. I gotta read again. I mean, good. Look, good thing we're reaching the end of the year. It's gonna be 2026. But in all honesty, I think I'm gonna leave off the video here on the ramble. I don't think I need to go any longer than I want to. Thank you guys for tuning in. Whoever does tune in, if you have made it this far, comment. Just comment anything. Community, I guess. Welcome to the community. You can say hi, introduce yourself, and stay tuned for more rambles about life, I guess.